Hello and welcome to Newsnight. I'm Trevor McDonald. I've been reading the news now for over 30 years, outlasting 5 prime ministers, 8 England football managers and 2 Beatles. I've even managed to see off Moira Stewart. The restraining order helps, of course, but she still calls me up occasionally in the middle of the night. Since the 1970s, you've been inviting me into your living rooms, but I've never actually come round for fear of catching some dreadful disease. But this is the bulletin I've always wanted to deliver. Stories making the news tonight. As the row over increasing number of CCTV cameras continues, Tony Blair is caught returning home after his first night off in 10 years. She's just got out of jail, so prison officials returned the contents of Paris Hilton's handbag. Royal news now, and Prince Harry's heading home for a weekend's leave, so Her Majesty the Queen takes usual precautions with the keys to the drinks cabinet. Providing expert analysis of the major news stories of the past 7 days are my news team, Marcus Brigstock, Reginald D. Hunter and Alexander Armstrong. This is the show where I set the news agenda every week and where we discuss my top 3 stories. So, at number 3, it's shock news that Tony Blair has been replaced by Prime Minister Gordon Brown. I don't know about you, but I never saw that one coming. Tony Blair spent his last full day in office playing host to Arnold Schwarzenegger. The hammy actor, famous for his role as a ruthless killing machine, is now handed over to Gordon Brown. Now, Mr. Blair may have left number 10, but he'll still be very, very busy. In his new job as Middle East peace envoy, he'll surely have no time to think about manipulating the press with spin doctors. According to The Sun, he will be brilliant in new role. Now, who could have written that? Of course, Alistair Campbell. Marcus, you've been keeping a close eye on proceedings. Will regime change in Downing Street affect our lives at all? Will it mean anything to us?
Hopefully it will, Sir Trevor. I mean, I was very pleased to hear that Tony Blair will be peace envoy to the Middle East, and in similar news that Bin Laden is coming over here to sort out knife crime. Yes, Blair has finally gone, and it was interesting the different styles that Blair and Brown had. If you remember back in '97, this is Blair moving into number 10.
I've just accepted Her Majesty the Queen's kind offer to form a new administration of government in this country. We ran for office as New Labour, we will govern as New Labour. And this New Labour government will govern in the interests of all our people, the whole of this nation. That I can promise you.
Exciting stuff, I think you'll agree. And this was Gordon Brown moving into number 10 this week.
I have just accepted the invitation of Her Majesty the Queen to form a government. This will be a new government with new priorities. And I have been privileged to have been granted the great opportunity to serve my country. I will try my utmost.
Now, here Gordon Brown and his wife Sarah on the steps of Downing Street talking to each other, but nobody could be sure what they're saying. Any ideas, guys?
That bitch Cherie's taking all the light fittings.
I reckon she's leaning in there saying, now can we have a new bath mat? No, that wouldn't be prudent, no. Actually, we're being rather unfair. I happen to know that in celebration, Gordon allowed himself double salt on his porridge this week.
And world leaders have been queuing up to praise Tony Blair on his departure, haven't they?
Indeed, yeah, absolutely. He's received a lot of presents. He got, well, he was given a guitar by Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was given a metronome by President Ahmadinejad of Iran. He thinks it's a metronome. He's not sure, he hasn't unwrapped it, but it ticks.
Tell me, I mean, Schwarzenegger was supposed to be over here, what, a couple of months ago, posing with conservative leaders? If I was a politician, I just don't know if it does my credibility good to be seen next to Schwarzenegger. I mean, you know, he's kind of a clown politician to me. I mean, what's he got to say to Tony Blair? What are you going to tell him? You've got to get out of here.
Marcus, what do you make of Gordon Brown's new cabinet?
Well, his new education secretary, of course, is Ed Balls, and that means that a man called Ed Balls will have to go and visit schools.
Yep. Marcus, thank you very much for that. My number one story of the week is still to come, but before that, it's time for Clever Little Foreign Boy. Now, what parents wouldn't be proud of a son who excelled at school and achieved great things at a very young age? The parents of 15-year-old Dilipan Raj from India, both doctors, are so proud of their son's progress at their maternity clinic in New Delhi that they encouraged him to perform a cesarean on a 20-year-old expectant mother. They also made a video recording of it to try to get him into the Guinness Book of Records. To be fair, the boy did have some practice. His father had also filmed one of his less successful operations. It does beg the question, though, what on earth is a young Indian boy doing performing surgery when he should be stitching trainers? Hello?
And we're back with the Bernard Manning stuff again, eh?
Little Indian fella, eh? They've got little fingers and marvellous for stitching. Now...
A quick look now at some other stories making the news this week. There's public outrage at the news that the Queen, one of the richest women in the country, has asked Parliament for an extra £1 million to help repair her crumbling royal properties. A large chunk of stone has already fallen from the roof of the east wing of Buckingham Palace. It landed close to where the Queen takes her morning walk. Better luck next time, Charles. Time now for the second of my top three stories of the week, and at number 2, it's growing resentment at the introduction of the ban on smoking in public places. The Daily Mail is outraged. Oh, that sentence ends there. Cherie Blair has been hired to fight the smoking ban by millionaire Dave West, owner of a raunchy lap dancing club. He recently described Tony Blair as an arsehole. And after all, he should know. He's seen enough of them in his time. Alexander, you are a health correspondent this week. Do you think it's right that the government should interfere in this way in our personal behaviour?
Well, I mean, clearly, it's better if some people don't smoke, but I just think sometimes this kind of nanny legislation just goes too far. For instance, we learned to our horror that the smoking ban will also apply to Catholic churches, which begs the question, what will priests now do after sex? One senior cleric said the rule was ridiculous. He asked, when was the last time you saw someone smoking in church? Well, personally speaking, it was when Uncle Bill's cremation service overran. You
know, with this smoking ban, do you know the fine for dropping a cigarette butt in the street anywhere?
300 quid.
£80.
£80?
£80.
Seems quite worthwhile.
Yeah.
And do you know what else you can be fined £80? And do you know what else you can be fined £80 for?
I don't know. Misreading what's on the card?
Yeah. That's £120.
Is it? As much as that?
Forgetting to renew your tax disc, celebrating Christmas too vigorously in Coventry, being in a trick-or-treat gang.
Trick-or-treat gang?
Yeah.
Gang.
I have to confess, I was part of a trick-or-treat gang when I was a kid. It was just rough in the ghetto and just... You know, it wouldn't even be October 31st, but we still be walking around with masks and stuff, man. And then we just try to scare white people, you know, like, you know, trick or treat, honky. And then I'm not proud of it. I'm not proud of it.
So
but
you went round in masks trying to scare white people.
Yeah.
There's some irony. That's revenge. Good for you.
There's a very weird side effect of the smoking ban, and that's this, that a lot of clubs depend on the smell of smoke to cover up the stale beer smell and general BO of people all together in a club. So they're now having to find something else they can pump into the club to mask all these smells. A poll of popular smells put fresh grass at the top, but according to the Daily Mirror, other favourites included Marmite, tar and petrol. Soon to be released as a fragrance by Amy Winehouse.
Well, Amy Winehouse smell bad.
There's no way of knowing. She looks like she might.
I wouldn't want to risk it.
Thank you, Alexander. Returning to the smoking ban and the need for no smoking signs to be placed in all public buildings, including churches, we can go over now to the Dean of Southwark Cathedral, the Reverend Colin Slee, for his reaction.
Well, do people really smoke in churches in this country anyway?
Well, I've been here over 12 years and I don't think I've ever seen anyone walk in here smoking. I've seen all sorts of things. Men with hats on, people with ice creams, people in bikinis, whatever. I don't think I've ever seen anyone think that they could smoke in church.
But like everybody else, you could get a fine, you could be threatened with closure, couldn't you?
Well, the deal is
Coming up later on Newsnight, from China, the news we've all feared, evidence that bird flu may have at last jumped species. Welcome back to Newsnight, the show in which I control the news agenda. The latest headlines. As Tony Blair leaves Chequers for the last time, he decides to make absolutely sure that he hasn't left anything incriminating behind. In other news, Tom Cruise has been banned from filming in Germany because he's a Scientologist. The film is Valkyrie, and it's about the failed attempt to assassinate Adolf Hitler. The authorities are keen to prevent Tom Cruise filming in a German military establishment, so they've erected a 3-foot-high fence all the way around. Staying with German sensitivity, a Polish magazine featured a topless Chancellor Angela Merkel. On either side of her, the two brothers who now run Poland, the Kaczynski twins. How absolutely distasteful. Imagine a topless Margaret Thatcher being nuzzled by two Argentines. Sorry, miles away. This is Newsnight, the show in which I control the news agenda, assisted by my news team, Marcus Brigstock, Reginald D. Hunter, and Alexander Armstrong. Gentlemen, just for a change, what do you believe to be the major stories of the week?
Paris Hilton. Paris Hilton's gotten out of prison, and that's news. That's big news there. Paris said that while she was in prison, you know, she cried a lot, she felt suicidal, but she got encouraging words from, you know, some of the other inmates. Stuff like, hang in there, just be strong, I can make you come. There's a growing sense of Paris and what she's doing and how it's not really something that we should be overly concerned about. I got a video clip here. There's a reporter who has a different reaction to it.
So anyway, Mika.
Well, you'd think we'd be leading with that story.
No, I want to lead with the Paris Hilton story.
And
What's
you know
happening
what?
with
So
Paris?
does my producer, Andy Jones, is not listening to me. He's put it as the lead. Do you know how lighter? Give me this.
Unhand me.
This is the Paris Hilton story, okay?
Wait a second.
Hold on a second. I'm going to make a point.
Lord.
We're not covering this, all right?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done with the Paris Hilton story.
Just do the news, Mika.
Okay, I am. I'm fine.
Lord, why is he such a journalist?
I won't do it. Will you burn this for me, please?
I will not. I'll cherish it always.
I'm about to snap. They were leading with it again.
Were they really?
I'm shredding.
Symbolic gesture number 3.
Symbolic gesture number 3.
This is my Paris Hilton
And
story.
here it is. What a statement.
Quite right. Have you ever refused to cover a story, Sir Trev? You know, when you're on, just someone shove you a story and go, cover this, and you thought...
After a while, they weren't allowed to do that.
Really?
No.
But early on?
They tried and failed, so they stopped.
But it is ridiculous,
I
though.
think he knows Kung Fu.
It is ridiculous, the amount of coverage that she gets. Why is it news? I talk to people, and I don't hear nobody going, what's Paris Hilton doing next? I gotta get home and find out what Paris Hilton doing next. I have been around immature women who talk about just old, frilly, and cute stuff, but even them, they don't be going, I wonder what Paris Hilton doing. I don't know who needs this to be news.
Yes, after being sent to prison for 45 days, Paris Hilton has been released after only 23. Yet another tough sentence she couldn't get to the end of. Now, commentators insist that we are now seeing a new side of Paris. Although, if you've got broadband, you've probably already seen most of it. My number one news story of the week is coming up, but it's now time for Planet Stupid. Because let's face it, stupid people are everywhere and ever willing to get themselves into the news. It's something of a global problem. So, where in the world have people been doing spectacularly stupid things this week? Alexander, where are you taking us?
I'm going to take you to Brussels, where, under EU law, kilt wearers may have to obtain licences for their sporrans. This is apparently because sporrans were traditionally made of badger and otter hair, and these are now protected by the EU. Scotsmen who disobey the law could face a fine of up to £5,000 or 6 months in prison. I'm guessing most will opt for prison. But the move is being fought by Scotland's EU representative, or EU Jimmy, as he's called. The rule of thumb is basically this: if you're planning to wear a kilt and a sporran at a friend's wedding, you're a wanker.
Tell me what is a sporran? I know what a kilt is, but tell me what a sporran is.
It's basically what Scotsmen have on the front of their kilts to keep their sporran licences.
They pocketbooks. Yeah, I see that. They call that a sporran. I didn't know that.
It's a furry handbag.
Yeah.
And a skin do is the small knife that a Scotsman keeps in his leg.
Really? What does Scotsman need a knife for?
Have you been to Scotland?
Which all reminds me, I must get a license for my otter skin underpants. That's better. We're moving on now to technology does my head in. Yes, after many, many years of research, scientists are close to perfecting a special cap which allows you to change your television channels using only brainwaves. I presume they've found a cure for cancer, then. The Daily Mail provided an illustration of the cap that's operated simply by the power of your brain. This viewer is watching GMTV. So if it's brain power he needs, he's stuck. At last, we come to my number one news story of the week. Yes, it's news we've all been waiting for. The Spice Girls have announced that they are to reform for a world tour. At a news conference to announce their reunion, Jerry Halliwell told journalists, "It's now or never." Well, since you're giving us the choice, Jerry, can we go with never? Between them, the Spice Girls now have 6 children, or 7 if you include David Beckham. Reg, you were something of a Spice Girls fan, I gather. Are you excited about this world tour?
Yeah. What's exciting for me is seeing after 10 years how they've grown and developed as artists and musicians. Just to see what they doing now. What these Spice women think now. Because they're not girls no more. No? They Spice women. And a lot of young girls who used to chant after them and like them and appreciate them, they finding out that maybe some of the stuff that the Spice Girls sang, it sounded good, but it didn't have no basis in reality. Like, if you want to be my lover, gotta get with my friends. Well, there's a lot of men who go, no problem.
I didn't realize you were such a fan, Reg.
I didn't either till I got to the show today. I did find their press conferencing interesting because I am curious about what drives the Spice Girls. What made them come back? I mean, a lot of people want to know, and this clip here will show us why they come back.
Are you prepared to talk about how much money you're likely to make? We're not doing this for the money. We're doing it because we want to do it, and we're in a privileged position to be able to choose whether to or not to do something. And I wouldn't ask you what you're earning. I don't think it's kind of cool.
Not ladylike.
It's not ladylike to talk about the money.
So, Victoria Beckham.
Yeah.
Is she still a Spice Girl? Does she look like a Spice Girl still, you think?
No.
She barely looks like a girl.
Okay.
Did you detect any implants there at all? Do I see in that picture?
Oh, mercy me, now you mention it.
Where are her nipples, Sir Trevor?
Don't ask me.
It looked like she breastfeeding 2 small baby boys right there. And they 2 heads.
Where
Seriously.
Reg, thank you very much. Before we go, there's just time for Young People Can Be Idiots. Every week, young people make the news because they are idiots. For example, if you're planning a Halloween prank at your school, the first rule should be, don't try it on the toughest kid in the year.
Are you going trick-or-treating?
No, probably.
You see? That's what can happen. Trick or treat, gangs, that's what can happen.
Would you like to see that again? I know I certainly would. Well, that's all for this week. Thanks to my news team, Marcus Brigstock, Reginald D. Hunter, and Alexander Armstrong. And I hope you'll join us again next week for our special investigation into whether the informal sign-off for ITN newsreaders has gone just a little too far.
Goodbye.
Oh, that never happened in my day, you know. I never got the chance to snuggle up to dear old Reggie Bosanquet. Good night.